What's up, guys? So you probably noticed that I haven't been on YouTube lately. I haven't posted much for the past 3 months. And the reason is that I decided to focus on the game engine as much as possible. Mainly because I really do not have time, to do YouTube videos, between my full-time job and my family. The amount of time that I have to work on what I want to work on is very, very limited. So I decided to, just focus on the game engine. And eventually what I realized is that having a mindset to make my game engine at least 1% better than it was yesterday helped me move forward. It helped me, build momentum. And I was able to add several features into the game engine, such as Gizmo, some Gizmo tools, post-processing effects. Actually, why don't I show you what I did so that way you have a better idea? Okay, so one of the first things that I did to improve the engine was to add a Gizmo tool that allows me to select the models, in this case, the players. This was something that I, did not want to add, but eventually it became necessary because it was just becoming too tedious, whenever I had to move a particular character. So now I can translate the characters, I can rotate them. I can rotate the characters now, and I can also scale them up if I need them to. So let me see, I can go up, I can go to the width, and also on this axis. Let me put them back because I'm going to show you something else, and I want them to be in the correct order. And let me bring this orientation to 0. The other thing that I added was some textures to let me know where to find my particular lights, such as my directional light, as you can see here. There's a simple texture that I added, basically just for visualization debugging. But the other cool thing that I also added was the ability to change the direction of the light through the Gizmo tool. For example, now I can change the direction of the light, and you can see how the shadows change accordingly. That is that. Then what I also did, which is something really cool and something that I also wanted, was to add a spotlight and an area light. So let me show you the spotlight first. And to do that, you simply click here, and that will bring up a spotlight. You can actually, add a name to it if you want to. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to translate it over here to the side, and I'm going to increase the brightness of it to 5. Now you can see it here, and again, you can actually know which light you want to select depending on the icon on the texture that I added. And you can see the cone of the spotlight. You can change the direction, as I mentioned before, and you can also change the angle of the cone. So let's say you want to make it smaller, you will be able to do that through the editor. Or if you want to make it bigger, you can just do that. So that's the spotlight. Now let me delete this and let me add the area light. So area light 1. So now let me move it to the side as well. I'm sorry about that. Move it to the side, and let me change the brightness to 5. And for this to actually be visible, I'm going to have to change it to that. All right, so now for the spotlight, same thing. You can change the direction of the spotlight simply by dragging the Gizmo tool. You can change the scale of the spotlight if you want to. So let me, we can let's say make it to 3, and that will happen. We can change it to that. So now you can see how you can change the spotlight easily, or add a spotlight to it. This is really cool. I really like this. All right, so let me delete this. The other thing that I added is now you can actually visualize the textures that you have for each model. Right now, for this particular assets in the scene, I only have a base color, but you can have a roughness, metallic, normal, and you can actually also change them through here. So let's say that you have, other textures for it. If you click on that little folder, you can go into materials and you can add the different textures that you may want to add. Just select them and you can add them. Now, since I'm here, I can also show you that you can also change the environment. So right now, I'm using this particular environment, but let's say I do not want that. Let's say I want something else. You can simply select whatever environment you want and click add the image-based lighting, and then you will get a different environment for your particular scene. Now, the coolest thing that I added, in my opinion, is the fact that now we can add post-processing effects, and I added several of them. I added depth of field, chromatic aberration, bloom, color grading, white balance, vignette. So let me go first with depth of field, and to do that, you need to be in play mode. Now I'm going to enable it. And we are going to add some blurring to it. And now let me set the range. And now we can actually play around, with our, like the particular selection that you want to blur and not blur, or in this case, add, depth of field. So now let me go here, and now you can see here. Okay, so now you can see here that everything aside from the soccer ball is kind of blurry. The player in the back is blur. This guy is also blur. The one in front is also blur. We can increase the blurriness of it. And only the ball is actually within the field of view. So that is that. And we can also add chromatic aberration. For this one, I'm going to have to increase the intensity quite high for you to be able to see the chromatic aberration of it. So that is that. I also added bloom, and for you to actually visualize bloom, let me add a spotlight, because I think that's really good visualization. So where's the spotlight? It should be right here, and I'm going to put it right on top, and I'm going to increase the scale a bit so that way you can actually see it. All right, so let's go to here, and I'm going to add the bloom effect, enable it, and now if I increase the intensity, you can see how for my area lights you get to see that particular bloom effect. That are usually part of that you usually see with lights. So that is that. Now I also added color grading and color white balance. So let me show you color grading first. We can have we have exposure, brightness, contrast, and saturation. I can increase my saturation to whatever you want. Same thing with my exposure. We can expose it more or less. And let me show you now the white balance effect. So we can increase the temperature to be more warm or something to be more cool. And also the same thing with the tint. Now, I also added, a little effect of vignette. So let's say we want to decrease the radius, and you get to see something like that. So this is where I'm at, guys. I'm very proud of what I was able to accomplish, because I have done a lot. And one thing that made me realize is that having a mindset to just wake up and improve whatever project I'm working on. In this case, a game engine, and just improve it by a tiny bit, by 1% than it was yesterday, is a big thing, right? Because eventually, all of those little steps that I took, they have compounded into what the renderer and the game engine is right now. I'm very pleased with what I have. Yes, I still have some bugs to fix. Yes, I have to add more features. I have to make the user experience a lot better, but that's okay because I know I'm going to accomplish them no matter what, with having this mindset that all what I have to do is wake up every day and make my game engine 1% better than it was yesterday. And maybe you can also apply that mindset into your project, right? Into whatever you're working on. You don't have to, make the most perfect app or or make the perfect game out there. All what you have to do is show up and make your make your project 1% better than it was before. I hope that helps. Subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along the journey of me building this game engine. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.